One of them was the first director that we got. We were already in production. He just decided he didn't want to do the movie.
Goldie Hawn, whose laughter has defined generations, has always been known for her warmth, charm, and grace. But behind that radiant smile was a woman navigating a world filled with egos, unspoken rules, and moments that tested her patience. Now at 79, she's reflecting on the actors and experiences that shaped her career, not with bitterness, but with the clarity that comes from decades in the spotlight. One of the most talked about experiences involved Bill Murray. What was meant to be a lighthearted table read for a comedy in the late 1980s turned unexpectedly tense. Murray arrived late, casual, and unapologetic, and during the session, he made a comment that left Goldie stunned in front of the room. Instead of responding with confrontation, she chose to leave quietly, a decision that marked a shift in how she approached her career, prioritizing respect and professional peace over tolerating unpredictability disguised as genius. Similarly, an encounter with Warren Beatty during her early years highlighted another lesson. When Goldie politely declined his personal advances, she noticed subtle shifts in opportunities and support. Instead of retaliating, she allowed time and her work to speak for her. Years later, a brief, polite acknowledgement at a public event said more than any confrontation could have. Goldie learned early that maintaining boundaries sometimes requires patience rather than argument. Dustin Hoffman presented a different challenge. Invited to audition for a prestigious drama, Goldie encountered a moment that undermined her confidence publicly, with a critique that implied her comedic experience was a limitation. She handled it with composure, finishing her work professionally, and quietly stepping away from the project. In her own words, "Some people forget that professionalism includes mutual respect, and sometimes the best response is to walk away rather than prove a point in a room unwilling to listen." Chevy Chase, too, taught her about navigating ego on set. During a high-profile comedy, clashes over improvisation and creative control created tension. Goldie adapted by focusing on her own performance and boundaries, ultimately deciding she would not return for a sequel when the environment no longer felt collaborative. Her choice underscored a key principle she carried throughout her career: protect your joy and energy, even if it means saying no to money or fame. Other experiences, like public moments with Sean Penn or navigating industry panels with Kirk Douglas, reinforced the same lesson. Not all interactions need confrontation. Goldie learned to preserve her dignity, selectively engaging where respect existed and letting go where it did not. These weren't acts of vengeance, but of self-preservation and clarity about what she would accept professionally and personally. Goldie Hawn's story is a reminder that even in the glimmering world of Hollywood, boundaries matter. She didn't allow criticism, ego, or dismissal to define her career or her identity. Instead, she chose her projects, her colleagues, and her energy with intention. Her smile, her warmth, and her laughter were never naive. They were the result of decades of learning when to walk away, when to speak, and when simply to carry on with quiet strength.